Hey YouTube, I have a Rocky Mountain Sherpa, which is a great bike for New England mountain biking where we have a lot of roots, rocks, and very tight single track. But it's not the greatest bike for mountain biking down in North Carolina where everything is much faster and straighter and smoother, and they do a lot of dirt road climbing instead of climbing trails. So I've been thinking a lot about what my ideal mountain bike would be, and here's the things I don't like about the Sherpa. One is the weight. It's 31 pounds. Another thing is the pedal clearance. In New England anyway, I hit a lot of roots and rocks with my pedals and logs. I run the suspension quite soft, so when I get on the bike, even though I have 5.5 inches maybe of ground clearance, which is actually more than my hardtail, I hit my pedals way more on the Sherpa than I do on the hardtail. Also, when I'm down in North Carolina, these knobby nicks are way more tire than I need, and they're on a very wide rim, so I actually would have to get a different wheel set to put narrower tires on this. So on the right-hand side here are some knobby nicks size 2.6 compared to on the left-hand side are knobby nick 2.8s. And if I try to put those axles pretty close together, the 2.6 on the right is at least a tenth to maybe 2/10 of an inch lower than the 2.8 on the left, which would mean an overall diameter of 0.3 or 4 less and that much less pedal clearance if I went to smaller tires. So another thing that's bad about the Sherpa is the front wheel is boost and the rear wheel is not boost. And finding a wheel set, an inexpensive wheel set anyway, online is rather difficult. You have to get a custom one. And I don't feel like spending a lot of money on a wheel set that's boost in the front and not boost in the rear, because I won't be able to use it on my next bike. So I've really been wondering if 2.8 tire size is too big, and on my giant XTC I have Continental X King 2.4s, but they're kind of a smaller tire than the knobby nick, and they don't have nearly the traction that the knobby nick has. So here's the knobby nick, and you see how there's this big space between knobs? If you were going over a root, it would really grab the root really well. Here are the Continentals, and there's no place where there's a lot of space, and a root will actually sink into your tire and not spin, and your tire won't spin on the root. So I got a pair of knobby neck 27.5 by 2.6 tires, and I put them on my giant hardtail, which isn't really designed for such a large tire. And here's how they looked. So I'm actually kind of surprised. What? I'm making a video. Okay, I am actually kind of surprised these actually fit fairly well. I have quite a bit of clearance on either side of the tire there. I have... shit. There's hardly any clearance there. That's not good. That's not good at all. There's actually more clearance on this side. But on the drive side there's quite a bit less clearance. So that kind of stinks. The front wheel spins fine, and the amount of clearance is pretty decent all around. And this is a RockShox Recon 100mm travel fork. What I need to find out is how low a pressure I can run in these tires. I can run my Sherpa at about 12 pounds of pressure, 12.5, 13 pounds of pressure, which is pretty awesome for the rooty trails. With these tires, these 2.4 tires on my giant, I can only go down to like 17 pounds of pressure. I'm going to try to figure out how many pounds of pressure I can go down to on these tires by letting pressure out, trying to see where they start to roll. This is a very thick sidewall, very heavy-duty sidewall. Oh, that says I'm at 13 pounds. Yeah, I can tell these would be flexy. Surprisingly, for as little pressure as I have in this rear tire, it doesn't roll it on the rim, and my other tire definitely does. So this sidewall might be a lot stronger. So let's look at tire widths. So the knobby neck 2.8 actually measures 2.8 inches wide. So the width of the 2.6 tire is about 2.5 inches exactly. And the Continental X King 2.4 measures 2.3 inches. So the 30 mil wide rim might pinch the tire a little more than the 45 mil wide rim. So I decided to figure out how much each of these wheels weighs, because the weight of the Sherpa is what kills me the most, and the weight of the Giant, it seems quite light and the wheels seem quite light. So let's see what that works out to be. So the 2.8 knobby nicks on the Sherpa WTB wheel set worked out to be 11 pounds for just the wheels, tires, and the cassette. That's incredibly heavy. So the Giant Stan's wheel set with knobby neck 2.6 tires worked out to be 9 pounds 15 ounces. Still, I'm quite surprised at how heavy these wheels are. And the same wheel set with the Continental X King 2.4s weighed only 3 ounces less. So 9 pounds 12 ounces. So there's a real opportunity to take a lot of weight off the Sherpa if I were to invest in some really good carbon fiber wheels, but I hate to do it with the boost front and non-boost rear, because nobody's going to make a bike like that in the future. So what's the whole point of this video? I guess what I was hoping to find out was whether or not 27.5 by 2.6 would be the ideal compromise in tire size for the trails in Massachusetts and North Carolina, but I don't dare run the 27.5 by 2.6 tires on my Giant XTC bike because I don't have enough clearance on the sides and the trails are muddy, and it would definitely be rubbing on the frame, which would not be good. I also don't want to put them on my Sherpa because it's going to lower the bottom bracket by about 4/10 of an inch. So everything's too low already, and it would just make things worse. So I'm kind of hoping somebody comes out with a bike with 27.5 by 2.4 maybe tires as the standard, but they could also accept 2.6 and 2.8 tires, so that everything got higher instead of lower if you went to bigger tires. So that's about it. We've got lots of mud here, and hope to see you out on the trails. Thanks for watching.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
If I weigh these wheels...
Shh, I'm making a video.